Hi all, welcome to another video. Today I'm talking about one of the most loved product I have in my collection, which is the Amazon Fire Stick. I've been using Fire Stick for the past 4 years. I've been using the 4K first gen Fire Stick for 3 years, and since the last year I've been using this particular model, which is the second gen 4K Amazon Fire Stick. And I must say, this is among the best streaming devices that you would find, the streaming products, when you compare it with uh, the Google Home. I'm at loss for words on what it's called, even the alternative for MI box, because the third generation MI box is still not out, and I'm not sure if it is going to be out in India. It will take some time. So with limited options and with what the price you pay, this is among the best options you would find for under 5,000 rupees, especially during the sale time. It'll go drastically down from 6,000 rupees all the way up to 4,000 rupees with card and other discounts. So keep an eye out for that. And this has some advantages with the previous version, because this particular model comes with 2 GB of RAM and 8 GB of storage. And when you really look at it, the storage capacity, you get only 6 GB which can be used, and that is pretty much good enough for somebody who is going to only use it for streaming and other basic tasks like watching movies, etc. If you're going to sideload apps, you would need an additional pen drive for at least 128 GB or more. And one thing you have to note is you would need an adapter to use along with it. I already use a new green adapter, which kind of helps me out with it, and it also has a network port, which is how I've connected this particular model currently. The Wi-Fi is good, but I feel Ethernet delivers that extra megabits in terms of streaming, at least for me. And apart from that, this particular model also comes with all the related audio and video formats. There is also a cinematic version, which is setting your Fire Stick to 24 FPS, which is a great deal for people who like to watch movies at 24 FPS. And at display, as you can see, it goes up to 4K, and the color depth can go up to 12, although mine has only 10. So I've kept it at 10. And you also see this game mode, which I haven't actually tried because I didn't know how this actually works, and I'm not much into games with the Fire Stick, at least. So from what I know is you can install games like the basic car, asphalt or something similar, and be able to play with it. But apart from that, I don't think there's much use to it. And the dynamic settings is something which you change to always HDR. Mine will automatically get into Dolby Vision, as you can see, and I'm not a huge fan of Dolby Vision, which puts your TV at 100% brightness, and that is why I keep it at HDR, or the basic version it is at. So that being said, one other topic which I would like to cover is audio, which was the reason I bought this for. Now this particular model supports all the audio, although you see only up Dolby Digital Plus here. It has PCM, it has Dolby Digital Plus, it has Dolby Digital. And once you enable Dolby Digital, it also has capability to pass through True HD. So if you want to play something in True HD, leave it at auto, or you have to change it to Dolby Digital based on the capabilities of receiver or soundbar you have. That is one thing you have to keep in mind. The next thing is how good it is with all the features. Now, apart from RAM, you also get support for all the audio formats. That includes Dolby True HD, Atmos, Dolby Matte, Dolby Digital, Dolby Digital Plus, PCM. There is also support for DTS, DTS-HD, DTS-HD Master Audio if you use it via Kodi player or Emby player. And these are the only two apps. Plex also work. Plex is going to use up a lot of RAM if you don't know how to set it up. And Kodi passes through all the formats perfectly. And as you can see, I'm just going to play. Yeah, both Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, both Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos works, and it is a great feature that has come with this particular model of Fire Stick. None of the previous model has it, including the Fire TV Cube. So this is an advantage with DTS and all that. And applications run pretty smooth here compared to the previous version. Prime Video loads up faster and it is not jittery or laggy. It switches to 24 fps based on the movies you're watching, so that is an advantage. And you also have to keep in mind, for the price you're paying, it's doing a pretty good job.
You must stop using them. I can help.
Now this is where the fun is. So if you know how to use a proper Fire Stick, if you know how to utilize it for watching videos or your movies from your curated list of collections, this is where it will help you. Because I have my own media player setup built in my home, and I'm a huge collector of movies. So all the movies that I have, this particular Fire Stick has no issues playing it. So no matter the size of the disc, no matter how big it is, even if it is 100 GB, it is able to play without any problem or even without any buffer. Just to give you an example, here is Avatar: The Way of Water, 104 gigabyte file, and as you can see, it picks up all the formats. The Dolby Atmos is picked up. There you go. And you can see on the right side, you can also see the input bitrate, which is pretty neat. It is passing through the entire video and audio bitrate without any issues. And I'll just reconfirm I have the right setup here. Yeah, the True HD. This is the highest version. So it is able to play without any problem. I can buffer it, I can go further. Yeah, I'll go slightly back. I'll go again slightly further. There you go.
Swarm of thought, we will see it.
So it has no issues playing any sort of large files, even at the highest quality. And you will be able to pass through any audio if you have a proper TV that can support it. And coming to the real advantages or disadvantages compared to the predecessor, if you have a first generation of 4K Fire Stick, what you have to keep in mind is, do you really need it? Because first generation Fire Stick also supports Dolby Atmos. So if you're a person who only uses it for Netflix or Prime Video, you're already in a good spot. The only thing you're missing out is probably the color calibration. With this particular model, it is slightly revamped, slightly better, slightly brighter. But apart from that, you are not losing out on any. Now, is this good compared to the new Xiaomi box which is released? It's really a tough answer here because the product is not released in India yet. But for the price it's launched in China and other countries, it is an amazing deal because that actually comes with DTS-X, and that is a product worth buying if you find it in India or if it is launched in India under 7,000 rupees, no questions asked. Because this at 6, that anywhere under 7 or even 8, I think that is still a good option because you also have the USB port built in, which can be used to stream any movies that you want to play and watch. So that is an advantage with the Xiaomi third generation box, which is Xiaomi Box 3 or something like that. But if you don't have that option, or if you are somebody who likes the OS of Amazon Fire Stick better because it is good when you really look at the operating system of Firestick, it is really smooth and really not very laggy. So it is a good product to purchase for, let's say, under 5,000 rupees right now. There are alternatives like Roku or Apple TV. Apple TV is really good, but for the price you're paying, you can't do much with it. With Firestick, you have unlimited options of installing applications, playing it with the way you want, tweaking it. So those are the advantages that comes with it. And this particular model is really good for the price. So if you ask me, for this past year, if I'm using it, how has it been? It has been amazing. Has it lagged so far? Not at all. I've barely come across it once or twice. That is when I've overused it with Kodi player, and apart from that, it has never kind of lagged or stuck in between. And the updates are one thing which has not rolled out. I'd got 2 updates, but after that it has kind of stopped. It is usually the case with Firestick anyway, but with the Android version 11 and Fire OS 8, I think I'm good to go. And all the features like network or controllers and Bluetooth, all of them work perfectly fine. So that's pretty much it. If you have any specific queries with the Firestick, do let me know and I'll help you out. And I will see you guys in another one.